Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jay Winstall, your public address announcer for Northern Kentucky University basketball, and I'm a Room 17 production.
I am Deborah DeWeese. I am a family court judge, and I am a Room 17 production.
Hello from Northern Kentucky University. I'm Joan Joseph. I'm preparing future teachers in the Department of Education, and I'm a Room 17 production.
Hi, I'm Janwin Overstreet Good. I'm a high school choir director in Friendswood, Texas, past president of the Texas Music Educators Association, and I am a
Room 17 production.
Hi, I'm Margaret Knight Keith. Sara and I came to UK at the same time. I was very lucky, and she asked me to help her set up her office, and I had a job the first semester doing that. I am now organist at the First Presbyterian Church in Hazard, and I am a Room 17 production.
My name is Richard Burns. I have had a career as a music educator and a church musician, and currently I'm the choral director at Lexington Traditional Magnet School, and I am a Room 17
production.
Nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee, even though it be a cross that raiseth me, still all my song shall be, nearer, my God, to thee, nearer, God, to thee, nearer to thee. Though like a wanderer, my son gone down, darkness be over me, my rest a stone. Yet in my dreams I'll be nearer, my God, to thee, nearer, my God, to thee.
You've just listened to the musical artistry of Lexington musician Dean Phelps. And Dean, we are so glad to have you here with us today.
Thanks, Renee. It's good to be with you.
And alongside with me, as we always have, is Whitney Akey, my beautiful and talented co-host.
Hey, guys.
And Whitney, Dean has been at the Twisted Cork as a performer on several occasions, also in the Songwriters in the Round. And what can you speak to his talent?
Gosh, we love to have Dean. I just said I'm so excited to listen to Dean today. It's a wonderful thing to be in his presence. He's incredibly talented, and it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel good to hear Dean.
Yeah, I agree. And Dean, let me just ask you, since we are gathered here today to celebrate the wonderful career of Sara Holroyd, do you have a favorite Sara story? And let me just kind of, I guess, ask you to talk about the fact that you actually named your guitar after Sara Holroyd. And I put him on the spot here, so.
That's true. That's true. My time at UK was not exactly smooth, and so I really credit Sara for a lot of patience with me. Somebody put it to me one time that I was flailing, and that's a pretty good description of my time at UK. But later on in life, a few years later, I was living in Georgia at the time and had a break-in my home. And both of my guitars, both the guitars that I owned at the time were stolen, and my stereo system got stolen as well. I think I put it one time that, somebody took a piece of my soul and stuck it in the trunk of their car and drove off with it.
Yeah, we had a common story with the Trippin' Roots last week, very similar situation.
But not too long after that, I visited a music store in Smyrna, Georgia, and there was this used D28 on the rack there, and I picked it up, and it was just, in Harry Potter, when you go to Ollivanders, the wand chooses the wizard. Well, I think the instrument chooses the player,
Absolutely.
too. And just, there was something in that guitar, my hand just fit to the contour of the neck. And I don't think you really give a guitar a name. I think the guitar eventually tells you.
Yes.
But that D28 became my beloved Sara. Really, really named after Sara, because that guitar, like Miss Holroyd, was very, very patient with me. I mean, it has been with me through a lot of different styles of music, through driving country cover band to schmaltzy singer-songwriter ballads, and now Merle Travis style thumb-picking beats. But that guitar has been with me longer than Debbie's been with me. So I've been with that guitar longer than I've been with my wife. So we have an agreement.
I like it. We are so glad you're here with us today. We're going to hear more from Dean in just a minute. To open the show, we heard actually from Liza Binford, who was playing an instrument that not many of us are familiar with, and it's called a monochord. And Liza, explain to us what a monochord is.
So a monochord is an instrument. It's a fretless instrument, and I think originally Pythagoras, who was a mathematician and a musician, he realized that when you took a string and divided it up into partials, you could get other notes on top of that, overtones, if you will. And so this particular version of the monochord, it's tuned to a perfect fifth. There's 21 strings. So there's an octave of a C and then G. And as they're vibrating sympathetically at the same time, you hear those really light, extra notes, those overtone notes that are vibrating on top of it. So it's a very ethereal instrument. A lot of people, when they hear it, they're like, "What is that sound?" It's very some people say it's sort of like space. Other people say it's very soothing and calming. I think it's very calming to the nervous system. That's my theory. But I love singing with a drone. You always kind of come back to the one. And so that's the instrument that I play and sing with.
Well, that's wonderful. That's our academic lesson for today, right? I think we visited history and music and math and all kinds of things in that last description. Right. So, Liza, you have a favorite story about Professor Holroyd.
I do.
You still tell?
We were in rehearsal, and I had a terrible headache, like a sinus headache, and I just remember being in so much pain, and I had my head down, and I was basically there but not there. And Sara was demonstrating something, and she hits this high note. I think it was a high C or a B or something. And all of a sudden, my sinus headache was gone. It was like the tone completely cleared the pressure in my head. And I just sat up and I said to my neighbor, I was like, I can't believe that. She just cleared my sinus headache. And I think that in many ways it was a kind of a pivotal moment for me, because I thought, gosh, if sound can impact the body in that way, what else can it do? I used to be kind of transfixed with those, is it live or Memorex? Remember the ones where there's the glass and then Ella Fitzgerald sings the song, sings a pitch and shatters the glass. So I got really interested in how sound impacts the body, and through singing yourself and through other, singing to other people, and the monochord is part of that whole process too of, opening up the body in a way that's healing, basically. So she was my first sound healing experience.
Well, and it's just real interesting that you tell that story, because as most of us in the room know, that a lot of people might not know, is that when she did retire from UK, she immediately went into nursing school as a 62-year-old and got a nursing degree and practiced in the ER for quite some time. So I really think there's a lot of validity in those connections. And now we've had a health lesson on top of an academic lesson. We've had a health lesson. So we're going to be back after the break to talk more with some other very special guests that we have.
'Tis a gift to be simple. 'Tis a gift to be free. 'Tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right,